literally did not involve me whatsoever. So just another straight up false allegation. It's crazy how much packed in here. Just a very stupid segment that does push a bunch of disgusting bullshit out, frankly, but we'll keep going. I don't know that she's lying. She might just be stupid. There's many more examples I could point to, but these are asymmetrical standards you do not hold for anyone else. Okay, so yesterday, Princess Mantis released her much-awaited video on me, requested by Liquid Sonic. I just want to take the opportunity to just either fill in a few gaps or disprove a few things. So we'll start here. So let's watch like some of this segment.
A bunch of stuff regarding Kuihman's propensity for doxing, so we're going to go into that. First will be the Willie Mac doxing allegations. Now, this was a big ol' thing like a little while ago. Apparently, Bad Emma Ponda doxed Willie Mac's wedding. This checks out because Bad Empanada is probably a diagnosable psychopath, and snarkers like Kuihman love him because...
So immediately, there's a problem there, isn't there, guys? Because I never watch Bad Empanada videos on stream. I don't condone Bad Empanada. I point out when people are saying things that are incorrect about Bad Empanada. I'm not a Bad Empanada guy. Obviously, zero effort put into actually substantiating any of the criticisms being made here. Just like random f***ing smearing. So actually, you're a Bad Empanada fan. No, I'm not. But this f***ing loser just literally throws at the wall. It happened several times this video. It's just obvious. It is just immediately trying to make it sound like I support doxing based on nothing.
He does things that they don't have the balls to do, even though they try and deny it. So I decided to watch his response.
Like, no, you can't deny it. You can't deny it. Well, then show the example. Show how I'm doing something that illustrates support, or, you know, I give it a pass. Show me that.
Video, and holy shit, his intros are even more annoying than mine.
Huh? Dude, surely people are going to point out how insanely dishonest this is.
I'm known for having my music too loud, but this takes it to a whole other level. Anyways, I carefully dissected the video and found the meat and potatoes. He basically states that Willie Mac accuses him of originating the dox, but supposedly this isn't true. According to Kuihman, he reacted to a tweet made by Destiny. Anyways, here he is repeatedly saying he doesn't condone doxing, which is notable.
I explicitly state, very notable, that I'm not okay with doxing. That I don't believe it's no bad tactics, only bad targets. That's, in fact, been a key point that I've been hammering for 5 months at this point, mate.
I think that I'm pretty open to the idea that Kuihman did not dox Willie Mac directly, and that he just shared something that Destiny shared.
Well, you could just verify that.
I've even heard that he blurred out some information that was going to further the dox. So, whatever. I think Kuihman can have that one, but I do think that maybe he doth protest a little bit too much about the no bad tactics, only bad targets thing.
So, guys, if you defend yourself from baseless statements and firmly state what your principles actually are, you're now protesting too much, guys. And is she going to illustrate that in any way? Is she going to illustrate how it's protesting too much? Or what I'm covering up for by protesting or anything? No, obviously not.
The second one is somebody called Elder Drazi's wife. Now, before we get to
somebody called Elder Drazi's wife.
Into this one, I realize I am finding this via the Destiny subreddit, and personally,
wow.
I'm not a...
I think if you just found it from the Destiny subreddit, the best thing you could possibly do is take this title as fact.
Found a Destiny, I just want to put that on the record, and I heard a rumor that Kuihman changed his mind about Israel simply because Lonerbox didn't go hard enough on Destiny over the Pixie situation, which...
That's a great one. So we've just heard Kuihman changed his mind on Israel because Lonerbox didn't go hard enough at Destiny over the Pixie stuff. So I actually have spoken about this several times very recently. So I think this is probably... Let's just play a bit of this. Fuck it. Let's play a bit of this. We'll be fine. This is from my Counterpoints interview a few days ago, okay? Like this. Just like not even like always super hostile, but just like that. So this is very recent. This would not be hard for Mantis to find, but she makes no attempt to even engage me here. So, you know, how British schools kind of are. People rip on, yeah, there's a black kid, they'll make jokes about him being black. Pakistani kid obviously get ripped for being Pakistani. So I claim the Jew label 100% because, you know, I get treated Jewish. You know, that's So that's just the way I look at it.
Well, was that like a badge of pride almost, that fucking people would banter with you for being Jewish and you would just lean into it?
It's not just even a badge of pride or leaning into it. It's just like it sort of becomes sort of part of your identity. It's where you grow up. You end up making jokes about it, they make jokes about it, and that's just sort of where you end up fitting in, and you get sort of put towards that. So as I got older, I was sort of like, aware that like, the argument that obviously super pro-Zionist people make is, well, if there's another Holocaust, Jews need a place to go. So I'm always sort of acutely aware when people say that. That does kind of mean me, that I would be one of the ones if there was another Holocaust, right? So I'm acutely aware of that going into stuff. So sort of like, I would say that's the level of affinity I had for Israel, was sort of like the idea that that argument does kind of pitch to me, right? And not necessarily that I agree with the argument or that I care about it.
I was going to ask, how did you feel about that argument as a teenager versus how do you feel about that argument now?
I don't feel, I would say even around the time of October 7th, I probably had slightly more belief in that argument, but I would never have actually employed that argument I would never have said I believe that, It's sort of like an argument I would entertain. At this point, I'm like, okay, I don't think having these ethno-states is good for anyone. I don't think it's necessary. I think Jews are pretty well integrated into a lot of countries around the world. And so there's that, and then I've spoken many times about my opinion on this stuff changing. There is no way that you can say, thought that. It's just not the case. They were obviously horrified knowing what was about to come. And they were right. And they were right. There's like no, we have hindsight now. We can say, oh wait, those lefties were right to freak the fuck out when it happened. Because holy shit. Well, look where we are now. It's just crazy. Yeah, even I, as someone that was more, I've joked around a lot, but I was quite tepid in my Israel support when it first happened. I would say, back then, destroying Hamas is an unachievable military goal and just writes them a blank check to do whatever the fuck they want for as long as they want. So, even I, who was more pro-Israel at that point, I was saying that when it first happened. So the idea that lefties felt fucking horrified, knowing exactly what was going to come, it's like, yeah, I get it. Especially in hindsight. I'm like, yeah, I was wrong. They were right. People should have been more vocal. I should have been more vocal, Like, that's just seems to be the case. I don't know how you disagree with that at this point. But, I mean, Loan the Box supports all sorts of disgusting shit like that. Is it the fucking... What was that strike on the negotiations? Doha. The Doha strike. When they're in the middle of fucking negotiations. It was like the most obscene shit ever. Guys, it's all about the pixie stuff. It's all about the pixie stuff. And there's no reason to ever look into anything like that. In fact, you can literally just smear people's positions. You can just smear people's positions and never look at their own words. You just take like one joke and you smear whatever positions they have based on that one joke. And somehow you still pretend to have the moral high ground when bitching and whining about how Ethan Klein doesn't support a genocide because he said genocide bad one time. Because there's very consistent standards, guys. Very consistent standards applied by Princess Mantis here.
I think it's interesting. Anyways, I found this conversation by Kuihman justifying doxing someone called Elder Drazi's wife because he liked a tweet of hers or something, so therefore she's a public...
So, let's pull this thread up. Now guys, quick bit of key context here. This whole situation is a very old drama. I've spoken about several times. So, a Spicy Chat classic. Basically, people made fun of this guy's wife's OnlyFans BBW stuff. His wife was like on his streams. He spoke about his wife a lot. His wife and his profiles interact with each other. His content creator profile would interact with his wife's profile, and she shared BBW stuff. And then he liked that on Twitter when likes were public, so everyone could see it on his page, on his content creator page. They would tag each other in posts. They would do all sorts of stuff. And here we see, these are my DMs with Elder Drazi. Now, the first message appears to be cut off here. Let me go to my DMs with him myself and make sure I can fill in any potential blanks. I say, first of all, yo, I don't care about any of this shit with you and Chud. I don't mean to perturb you by sending you this stuff. However, I keep hearing you say my wife's private Twitter when it wasn't private, and you were liking posts for it when likes were still public. that populates into your followers' feeds and displays it on your timeline in the likes tab. I have all the screenshots to prove this. I send him all the screenshots. I send him further screenshots of him and his wife's accounts interacting on TikTok and stuff like that. It's also worth noting that when he was divorced from his wife reached out to Chud Logic to try and get on one of our streams to talk shit about him. I felt that's worth adding into that. She was refused, to be clear. She was denied. Then I notify him of somewhere where his PAI is still viewable online. And he says, you do it. So then this is where the DMs pick up. You do what you got to do. That ain't my wife anymore, and my name is already out there. When I talk about her private accounts, obviously I'm saying they're not public in the way mine are, the same way most people have a Twitter that is discoverable and not locked out to people. So this would almost make sense if this guy wasn't interacting with those profiles on his content creator profile that he is saying is public facing. And it's like clear that it's his wife. It was discoverable and not locked out, and on your profile due to your likes. That's literally what I just said. Saying your wife's wasn't, but it clearly was. I just said it's discoverable and not locked out like most people's Twitter is. But again, what do you do what you got to do? Go off, King. It was discoverable in the same way yours was. It was on your profile. I don't think you understand me, but that's fine. You could just explain. What you're saying literally doesn't make sense. You voluntarily linked your wife's profile to your online presence. You're right, Kuihman. She liked the tweet. She had it coming. No, you liked the tweet. You put it on your content creator profile. So that's not the only way you link their profiles either. So sorry, you're right, Kuihman. I liked the tweet. She had it coming. Yes, people can mock things on your Twitter. What's the privacy argument here? I'm not arguing. Do what you got to do. Because you're wrong, Limfowl. It was not private by any stretch of the definition. Okay. Well, good luck in your continued lying to cope about being mocked. Do whatever's in your heart. I'll set up for correcting you. That's a retarded comment from Dicker's Discord. So let's hear what Princess Mantis says about this.
Elder Drazi's wife. Now, before we get too into this one, I realize I am finding this via the Destiny subreddit. And personally, I'm not a fan of Destiny. I just want to put that on the record. And I heard a rumor that Kuihman changed his mind about Israel simply because Lonerbox didn't go hard enough on Destiny over the Pixie situation, which I think is interesting. Anyways, I found this conversation by Kuihman justifying doxing someone called Elder Drazi's wife because he liked a tweet.
So literally just takes this as fact. Says, you're justifying doxing. There was no doxing. There was no doxing. It's not doxing by any stretch of the definition. As I lay out in the messages, it is not doxing by any stretch of the definition, yet you claim as fact in this video that it is.
Of hers or something, so therefore she's a public person, even though he says things like,
I explicitly state that I'm not okay with doxing.
If this is
yes, and that's not doxing.
True, then he certainly looks like a hypocrite. Then, last but not least, actually,
if this is true, after already stating it as fact, read the DMs, look into it. Don't just peddle a fucking doxing allegation, you fucking retard.
Hypocrite. Then, last but not least, actually, this might be the hottest goss on the Lonerbox area of the internet at the moment, which is apparently Loney got access to a bunch of Discord logs from a server with Kuihman, Chud Logic, Shamu, and some other snarkers who doxed.
So then, just accuses Chud of being in the snark server as well. Just literally another baseless allegation. Just claims Chud was in the snark server. Something that's repeatedly been stated as being not true.
Harassed and gay-opt, which is a word I just learned, either directly or they supported it. And they used various OSINT tools and have come up with a bunch of crazy excuses.
Yeah, true. Literally, the whole Pixie thing changed your mind on Israel-Palestine makes no sense because I defended Lonerbox long after my position on Israel changed. Literally, long after.
Excuses for doing it, like they were protecting the victim of Tectone from harassers, which, I mean, I've never liked Tectone, but again, I have a hard time believing that Kuihman would want to protect anyone for any. And gay-opt, which is a word I just learned, either directly or they supported it. And they used various OSINT for Kuihman, Chud Logic, Shamu, and some other snarkers who docked, harassed, and gay-opt, which is a word I just learned, either directly or they supported it.
Fuck is all the rustling. Fuck is all the rustling. This bitch eating while recording.
And they used various OSINT tools and have come up with a bunch of crazy excuses for doing it, like they were protecting the victim of Tectone from harassers, which, I mean, I've never liked Tectone, but again, I have a hard time believing that Kuihman would want to protect anyone for any reason other than himself.
So there we go, just falsely claiming that I was involved in the whole Pinky Chew, harasser, OSINT, gay op shit. When that was literally did not involve me whatsoever. So just another straight up false allegation. It's crazy how much shit is packed in here.
But that's purely based on my observation of him. He might actually have an ounce of empathy in there somewhere. He just doesn't want you to know it. There's a lot that I don't know about these logs, so I'm not going to state anything as if it's a fact. Loaderbox does...
You just have repeatedly.
Say in this video that he looked through the Discord logs looking for Kuihman's name and discovered that Kuihman was pushing back against people doxing each other within the community because it made people look bad. So we're rooting for you, Kui. Good job. It doesn't...
So literally just, this is again totally wrong. I said doxing drama looks bad. No one was doxing each other. No one had doxed each other. It hadn't happened. I said doxing drama looks bad because it was stuff around the edges. It was inching to that point as quote-unquote jokes between people in the community. I said, that makes you all look terrible. That makes you all look terrible, so stop. There wasn't actual doxing.
Negate the fact that he is still in a server/community that is actively participating in doxing, but
so then
whatever,
actively participating in doxing, again, stated as fact. Stated as fact when the instances that have been referenced are all moderated. It's all like people banned, literally all dealt with. Actively engaged in doxing because what? Like almost a year ago, a dox was posted and the person was like banned. Actively engaged in doxing. So again, stated as fact, no backing, just peddles a bunch of bullshit.
Yes. I feel like if I wanted to know more about Kuihman's mindset, I should just look more into Chud logic, but I don't hate myself enough for that right now, so let's move on. So it seems like Kuihman's final take on doxing is that he doesn't necessarily find sharing people's doxing, which I think is really interesting.
Literally everyone agrees with that. The only people that pretend they don't agree with that are people like Destiny, who have an interest in pretending they don't. Everyone understands this to be the case. If you take someone's, let's say a pedophile gets doxed, right? You could claim that's being done for an altruistic purpose, but it would still be doxing. Now let's say you take that pedophile's information and that has been doxed and you send it to the police. That's not doxing. That's not doxing. So sharing doxed information is not necessarily doxing. In fact, if you're doing it, I assume we're baking in privately, right? We're baking in privately sharing, I'm assuming, when we're talking about this. And doxing is the publication. You can look that definition up anywhere. It doesn't mean it's not bad. It doesn't mean there's not plenty of instances where it's bad to share someone's information like that. It can be not doxing and still be wrong, right? Doxing isn't the only bad thing in the world. Just because someone says something is not doxing does not mean it's not bad. But everyone agrees with my definition here. So please, Princess Mantis, if you disagree, present an alternative definition.
I don't know. Maybe it's interesting. Is that what you expect from me? You want me to post that clip? Ha, I'm not going to.
No, we want you to make a single fucking argument if you're going to peddle fucking allegations against people, retard.
Because I'm too lazy.
Where does Kuihman's original hatred of you come from? Is it ideological or interpersonal? I don't think Kuihman hates me. From what I can tell, he seems to at least think that I'm quite good at what I do and in my very, very specific ability of reading about stuff and understanding it and remembering it and all that shit. I know his entire community, was because the Destiny thing or whatever, a lot of his community really hates me. Don't they only refer to you as Zogbox? Yeah, I know, right? It's just there's just a level of fucking... These people are weird using doxing tools, but I didn't say they were doxing. Well, I learned from Mr. Kuihman that you can share someone's docs around, but you're not doxing them. So yeah, apparently that terminology is perfectly fine, Gregs, unless you disagree with him too.
Maybe my not so hot take is...
So I don't know if Princess Mantis... I can only assume that Princess Mantis is once again being a little bit silly, should we say here. I want to try and stop calling her disabled and retarded so much. She's being a little bit silly, I think, here. Because Loaderbox is actually saying that he agrees with my definition there. He's saying a snarky voice because he thinks he's replying to, assumedly, one of my chatters. And so he's going, oh, unless you disagree with Kuihman. Unless you disagree with Kuihman. So I think she's just totally misinterpreted that clip and she's taken the opinion as fact from Lonerbox that I'm using like a bad definition there, because that's the way she's interpreted what Lonerbox is saying, and she hasn't thought about it for herself. But again, it's just a whole very stupid segment in the middle here. Just a very stupid segment that does push a bunch of disgusting bullshit about me, frankly. But we'll keep going.
Is that Kuihman seems like he's a bit unprincipled, touting himself.
That's how we wrap. That's how we're trying to wrap up this segment,
I think
guys.
the viewers and everybody on the outside
After
sort of
just
knows
literally lying. Sorry, I need to be a bit more charitable. I don't know that she's lying. She might just be stupid. She might just be stupid and she's doing this unintentionally. But this is blatantly false. Multiple blatantly false or totally unsubstantiated statements. In the cases where they're unsubstantiated, it's not because there's evidence out there and she hasn't found it. It's that they're arguments that she's not making. She's just not making an argument and there's a certain conclusion.
That this is kind of a facade. And if I was to get into my armchair psychologist hat, I would say that Kuihman is quite an emotional person, and maybe he feels betrayed by Destiny somehow. Maybe something behind the scenes.
So then there's just this. We'll play this place. This is funny.
Made just hat. I would say that Kuihman is quite an emotional person, and maybe he feels betrayed by Destiny somehow. Maybe something behind the scenes made Kuihman really upset at Destiny, besides Destiny being a degenerate gooner. I'm not really sure, but
it's not like I've spoken about this like 600 times or anything, is it? It'd just be so hard to figure out why I have a lower opinion of Destiny now than I have in the past. It would just be impossible. It's like an insurmountable task to figure that one out. It's not like I've said that like a fucking bunch. Obviously, it's because mainly of the Cathal stuff initially, and then as other dramas played out, I saw how openly dishonest he was and how poorly he treated many people around him. That's obviously what happened. I've laid that out many times. He didn't believe the things I thought he believed. He wasn't an example of the sort of thing that I thought he was, you know? So that's what happened. And I've laid that out a million times. I even said it in, I think, the Kick or Keep that she pulls up at some point in this video. I definitely said it in the recent conversation with Destiny.
It's like Destiny also really has it out for Kuihman.
I do want somebody to kill Gisticle, though, or Loud, or Mr. Girl, or Kuihman. Those people can all die.
Very true. One thing she did get right in this video.
I feel like I've suddenly started speaking faster to get through this video.
Is there something around here?
At home, or maybe you're sad that you dropped out of film school to become a streamer and it hasn't really panned out for you. I don't really know what's going on. Anyways, how does Kuihman feel about Ethan? Because that's what the internet holy war is all about. Okay, it's about these little factions of people. It's about, you know,
yes, and I'm in the Hassan
orbit,
faction, of course.
Ethan's little orbit, and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, so Kuihman seems to view Ethan as a litigious, hypocritical, drama-driven YouTuber who frames himself as a victim while using his platform in legal threats.
Okay, wait.
Critical, drama-driven YouTuber who frames himself as a victim while using his platform in legal threats to punish critics. That's not really a hot take. Okay, and he's not really the only person who thinks that. Pretty straightforward, though. You know, Ethan is a hypocrite. Ethan built part of his reputation on fair use, reaction content, and being the guy who fought Matt Haas. And now Ethan is allegedly using copyright claims, legal threats, and his giant platform to pressure smaller creators. That's the criticism anyways. It's very much like you became the thing you used to make fun of, which is basically the official anthem of YouTube commentary, okay? Someone should make it a sea shanty. The issue that I have is that the snark has gone just beyond saying mean things that Ethan doesn't.
Okay, here we go. Yes, perfect. Okay, so she says, let's just go through it. Let's go through it. So she's saying, lays out all the criticisms. Now, what's her response to the criticisms? Thank you for the $2. Thank you.
Should make it a sea shanty. The issue that
Stop
I
smiling.
have is
Why?
that
I'm a
the
happy
snark
guy.
has gone just beyond saying mean things that Ethan doesn't like. It has actually interfered with his real personal life. People have sent skulls to his house. People have called CPS on him.
So, how does this not go? Every content creator, past a certain size and level of controversy, Hassan, Ethan, Destiny, they all receive some level of IRL harassment, okay? Some of it, horrific, I know, targets their kids. If you set up the rules so that the moment someone's kids are targeted, they can do anything to anyone who's in the against them camp, You obviously create a system where the richest and most powerful creators have an infinite justification to go after anyone they want. I want to hear a response to this. I want to hear a response to this, or I want you to stop shilling this, Princess Mantis, because I believe you're going to watch this based on our previous conversation earlier. I want to hear a response to this. You can't keep laying out justifications for why people should be doxxed, people should have bad faith litigation used against them, people should have their lives ruined. You can't keep laying out justifications for that without actually making an argument, okay? And you're not making an argument here. You're just saying CPS and skulls again, okay? It's disgusting, actually fucking disgusting, to repeatedly co-sign these behaviors, which you've done in your videos for your entire career, to co-sign these behaviors when you've not done the slightest amount of research or thinking about the argument, because you clearly haven't, because you're just replaying with skulls and CPS again. Everyone understands if Ethan was pursuing correct recourse against people who called CPS on him.
You always smile when it comes to the hatred of particular long-nosed people.
Thank you for the $5, Gaming Diglett. Thank you. What was I saying? You repeatedly lay out these justifications why these horrible things should be done to people. You've done it for your whole channel, okay? And you cannot call yourself in any way honest or principled if you repeatedly co-sign these bad actions without ever making an argument for it. Obviously, no one would disagree with Ethan seeking correct recourse against the people who did malicious CPS calls. If they did that, and Ethan found those people and pursued correct recourse against them, it would make total sense. It would make total sense. Now, I have issues with, say, Lonerbox, or JStalk has issues with, say, Lonerbox's community. I believe there's some crossover between Lonerbox and Destiny's community, where there are people that sort of are in Lonerbox's community that will engage in sort of like doxing activities out in the wild, you know? Does that mean that JStalk can start doxing Lonerbox? Does that mean JStalk can start doxing Lonerbox? If not, why not? If not, why not? And why do you not apply the same standard to the situation with Ethan? Perfect example for you. One example for you. There's many more examples. There's many more examples I could point to. But these are asymmetrical standards you do not hold for anyone else. You have, in this video, smeared me as being a bad Empanada supporter. That is grounds for doxing in Ethan's world. So, seemingly, you agree with that. You seem to agree. Like, how else do I take this, right? How else do I take this other than that you agree with the base level narrative that Ethan set forward, which if you participate in snark communities, if you co-sign snark communities, you're all together. You're all together. You're all part of the same group, and I can do whatever the fuck I want to you. How is... Lay out to me, in addition to what I've already said, Princess Mantis, how this is not just an argument to do all this shit to me or anyone else you're implicating here. So let's see a few more parts of this video.
People are saying things about his wife that are generally just not true, and it goes beyond just mean things. It is actually to do with mass destruction and death. Saying that somebody supports a genocide is going beyond just saying something mean about somebody, because it is perpetuating all of this really awful harassment. And it is just wildly surreal and hypocritical.
So let's run it back.
People have sent skulls to his house. People have called CPS on him. People are saying things about his wife that are generally just not true. And it goes beyond just mean things. It is actually to do with mass destruction and death. Saying that somebody supports a genocide is going beyond just saying something mean about somebody.
So it is a totally reasonable argument to say that Ethan Klein backs a genocide. It's an argument that you don't necessarily have to agree with, but you can absolutely make a reasonable argument for that.
Stop doing the hig horse. We are waiting for you in the doxing VC in the CPS server.
Shut up, Gaming Diglett. Shut up, Gaming Diglett. I'm trying to get through the segment, Gaming Diglett. Okay? Take it easy, man. Naming Giglet. Naming Giglet. What was I fucking saying? Stop fucking with me, bro. Stop fucking with me. Let me wind it back.
About his wife that are generally just not true, and it goes beyond just mean things. It is actually to do...
Yes, so you can make a totally reasonable... You don't necessarily have to agree with this, Princess Mantis, but you must understand, you can make a reasonable argument that Ethan Klein and Hila, especially Hila, back a genocide. Okay? Especially Hila. Totally reasonable arguments. And if you disagree, then please, I implore you, for your next video, go through Noah Samson's, the YouTubers who backed the genocide, and debunk the core argument. Debunk the core argument. I'm going to spoil this for you. It's not enough to just play 2 clips where Ethan Klein says genocide bad or settlers are valid targets. That's not going to be enough because it's not what the argument relies on. You just saying the right thing once or twice does not actually convey your output, because it's an argument about the material output of Ethan's content, the impression it will give to viewers, media bias, manufactured consent, and not just simply about whether Ethan Klein says genocide bad or genocide good, because Noah Samson, unlike you, seemingly is capable of abstract thought. Now, I will additionally add to this. Princess Mantis, in this video, has laid out the argument to dox me and people like me. Has laid that out. Has accused me of being engaged in that behavior, baselessly. Has not even attempted to lay out an argument, and has even and ahed about whether it's a factual claim or not. How is this not a direct contradiction? How is smearing me with baseless allegations that could lead to harm earlier in the video not a direct contradiction to the later in the video high-horsing about how making an argument about how someone backs a genocide could lead to harm? Please explain it to me. Please explain it to me. I'd love to hear.
With mass destruction and death, saying that somebody supports a genocide is going beyond just saying something mean about somebody, because it is perpetuating all of this really awful harassment. And it is just wildly surreal and hypocritical for people like Kuihman to encourage this idea that Ethan is misogynistic and blah blah blah, because like, Kuihman, have you looked at yourself in the mirror? Have you heard?
Look, game recognized game. Game recognized game. I'm the best at identifying misogyny.
Yourself
because I'm so misogynistic.
None of this
myself
would have happened. Again, I know that I sound like a broken
On the real though, you literally, you can be racist and identify someone else as racist. You can be misogynistic, identify someone else as misogynistic. I don't think I massively high horse. Even when I'm talking about like these insane comments people make, I don't high horse about it. I don't high horse chud about the misogyny. I just say it's gross. I just say, I don't like it. It's not a matter of, you can't do that, finger wag, you're a terrible person. It's, I don't want to watch that. I don't like hearing that. I don't like hearing that. And it's much the same for Ethan. It's much the same for Ethan. I think it's embarrassing that he spends so much time banging on about Ian and Anissa's sex life. I think that's embarrassing and weird, you know?
If Hassan and Ethan hadn't had their follow after October 7th, after Hassan had decided that he wanted to publicly support Hezbollah and Hamas, I don't understand how that is such like a weird thing for people to wrap their heads around. It's not just that everybody doesn't like Hassan because he says things that people don't like. Hassan has said things that would encourage the death of more people. If you encourage terrorist organization, that's what they do, is they...
So... this is the standard, guys. If you're a terrible person if you say something that would encourage the death of more people. Now, let's totally ignore Ethan and Neela shilling like the Iran strikes. Let's totally ignore all the Israel
support.
support.
It, but smiling bro, you're the R review guy. Stop giving mixed signals.
I'm not the R review guy. I'm not the R review guy. Fuck you. Naming Giglet. Fuck you. I'm not the rape review guy. That ain't me.
They like to terrorize people. They like to kill and murder people. So this is so far beyond.
We had rape in progress. Is it on here? No. Do I not have rape in progress anymore? I don't know if I still have rape in progress.
I don't know why it's such a hot take to disavow the actions of a country while still wanting that country to exist and their people to be safe. But that seems to be one of the most radical ideas for these far leftists who think that Hassan is actually super based and celebrate every time that he pays attention.
Yes, far leftists like Kuihman, yes.
To them. It's really sad. But again, North America is built off of genocide. It is disgusting. And yet, Canada was a safe haven for my family to experience a quality of life that would have been impossible elsewhere. What does that mean? Kuihman's sitting here like, I'm a god.
So, guys, I guess the argument here is Well, because North America and Canada committed genocide in the past, and that worked out fine, let Israel do a little bit now.
You stole his wiggler, you stole his show, and now you're taking on his weight. Hashtag goink oink, hashtag eat naughty day tubby.
Yeah, nice try, nice try. You will never gaslight me into thinking I'm fat, okay? You will never get me an eating disorder. Nice try, though, naming Giglet, okay?
I have no idea what she's talking about. Why does she speak? Why is she a woman? I don't understand anything.
Thank you for the $4.99 from the South Side. Thank you, huge appreciated. I mean, you're getting that. I'm just not. But nice try. Go back to ED Twit, Q.
The point I'm trying to make is that Canada and the United States and everybody living here, I think, can disavow the actions of our country and still exist in this.
You just know Q was getting groomed on Eating Disorder Tumblr. You just know Q was getting groomed on Tumblr, 100%. I'm calling it. I'm saying what we're all thinking.
Country. I think it's the same for Israel. Ethan Klein, to people like Kuihman, I think represents a kind of mainstream commentary power, and these small orbiters resent that, but also desperately want attention from him. They hate the king, but they keep checking in to
I think
see...
this is delusional. I don't think we care about any of this. Is there anything else here? Oh, yeah, I guess this isn't, like, super worth addressing, but, I mean, I've done it a million times before, so we'll do it again here. Fuck it. This retarded Gorgura clip. Let's see this.
It's attractive because it shows that I've made some personal growth, or that I'm a human being with thoughts and emotions. And if somebody isn't willing to admit those things, then they clearly have something to hide. Like, who the fuck knows what he likes? Oh, actually, I did hear something somewhere on Reddit maybe that he likes lolly.
So, okay, so if you want to do that, like, it's one thing if you want to do this, right? If you want to be this person, if you want to be the, oh, I saw something on Reddit and it looks like you're a pedophile. You can be that person. I find a lot of those people funny. But you can't be that person and also cry snark, cry people are making baseless accusations that could cause harm to people. You can't do all of that. You can't. You can be the joking pedophile allegation person, but you can't also be the stop snark person at the same time. You got to pick one there. You really got to pick one.
Oh, actually, I did hear something somewhere on Reddit maybe that he likes lolly or is okay with that.
Gorgura fans are doing it because they like simulating having a romantic relationship with a child. That is why people watch lolly VTubers. Spinal, don't even like. Why even try and deny it, Spinal? It's fine. It's a cartoon. There's no harm. You're not doing anything wrong, okay? Just keep it in your room. Don't go to any schools, okay?
So I think that we can just...
The streamer, I don't think you can call this emaciated twink fat.
Thank you for the $3.
Constantly too EP to stream at proper hours because the only thing he consumes is 100 milliliters of espresso daily out of
I have hunger pains right now. I'm gonna be real. I need to eat.
Just assume that he's a lolly enjoyer. This is all a matter of projection. But also, it really reminds me of the kid in the class in the corner who's like crying and being like,
so okay, so I've addressed this clip a million times, but it's not been in segments, so I'll just do it again. Obviously, what I'm saying here is that there's not an inherent wrong in merely someone looking at lolly VTubers. However, it does potentially reflect a mindset that could be an elevated risk of harm to children. That's clearly what I say here. I say don't go to any schools. Enjoy it in your bedroom and don't go to any schools. That's very clearly what I say in this clip. What I say in this clip, very clear. No one can disagree with it. It's crazy to try and disagree with this unless you're like using some Christian morality or virtue ethics or something like that, right? Most liberals, including Lonerbox, including your top guy Lonerbox, would agree with this 100%. In fact, they might even be more defensive of lolly, okay? They might even be more defensive of lolly. I'm going to be real. Lonerbox has had some great panel appearances that I can recall, particularly with food shops. Thank you for the $10 from the South Side. Huge appreciated. Thank you. So, you know, you can be the baseless pedophile allegation person, but you can't also be the stop snark person. And also, I challenge you to take issue with this clip instead of just going, oh, I think you're a pedophile. I think you're a pedophile. I think that's everything. So, I do think this fucking retard, sorry, being nice. I do think that if this Princess Mantis individual is claiming, is as principled and honest as they seem to want to claim. They issue corrections or take the video down. That's what I think personally. That's what I think. Or get on the stream and defend it if you still believe in this stuff. Or make a follow-up video and defend it. But I don't think you can. I think my point is pretty clear. I don't think there's really much of a response you can give to most of the stuff, except the parts where I've said you need to actually lay out your argument for why you believe that. Yeah, that's what I would do, personally. I would at least issue a correction. That's what I would do. And you can check my track record for that. You can check the track record. Did a correction the other week, because while we were live, we thought something was true about Nick. I realized after stream, it wasn't true. It was about whether he'd uploaded some segment. We thought he hadn't. I see after stream that he has uploaded it, so I get my editor to edit in a correction to the video. What was the other one? It was the Sacramento doxing allegation, where she was apparently asking for information about Diorio's girlfriend behind the scenes. Diorio didn't show that initially, but claimed it happened. And I was saying, yeah, that didn't happen, that didn't happen. And he sends it. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, fair enough, that happened. Fair enough. So, immediate correction, immediate retraction. Fair enough. There you go. So, I will do that, even for people I totally hate, like Diorio, and I'm sure Diorio's got a single honest bone in his body. He'd agree with that. So, I do that, and he has acknowledged that before, in fact. So, I would hope you would do the same, given the fucking high horsing in this video, the baseless fucking high horsing in this video. I would expect you to hold some kind of standard.